Desktop Startup. On the desktop version, the startup procedure depends on the installation. Where there is a main power switch on the computer and the monitor, use these. Where there is no power switch, startup is initiated by switching on the supply voltage in the ship's electrical supply system. If the system starts with a login display, the Login Field User (PCS) is predefined. Simply confirm with the Go button or just hit Enter for startup. A password entry is not required. Caution: additional terminals must not be switched on until the main station has been switched on. Start by console. On the console version, first check whether the green power lamp is glowing. If so, the unit is already in operation and you only need to adjust the brightness of the screen. If not, operate the power or on-off switch. Shutting down. To shut the unit down properly, click the tree button or F10 and then click Power Down. A confirmation window opens. Click OK to shut the operating system down, after which the message "System halted, you may switch off the power now" appears on the screen, highlighted in green. Switch off the monitor and, if it's a desktop version, the computer too.
Trackball and mouse buttons. The pointing device varies according to the equipment configuration. The desktop and console versions use a trackball or mouse. The console version with integrated keyboard and mouse combination uses a trackball that works like a standard mouse pointing device. Both trackball and mouse are equipped with 3 buttons, which do not function identically. The Do key is the middle trackball button and the left mouse button. The Info key is the left trackball button and the middle mouse button, which is normally in the form of a scroll wheel. And the right key of both trackball and mouse is the Cancel or Function or More key, depending on the location of the cursor in the GUI or Applications window. If the trackball is used for both the Chart Pilot and the Radar Multipilot 1X00, then the middle and the left button functions are reversed. Cursor outside chart. The cursor appearance outside the chart area is an orange arrow. Cursor on chart. The cursor appearance inside the chart area is an orange cross-fathom symbol. Sandglass. A sandglass or egg timer indicates that the system is busy. Keyboard hotkeys. The keyboard is used for entering values and uses the function keys as shortcuts. F1 opens chart mode. F2 opens conning mode. F5 event marker will be set and the drop event box will be opened. F6. Control the range with the opening range field. F7. Center of the displayed chart can be set. F8. The chart category will be set to standard settings. F9. Brightness window will open and allows you to adjust the brightness. F10. Opens the tree menu. F11. Displays or hides the menu. Print screen produces a screenshot on the connected printer, and, in the console version only, dim- and dim+ adjust the brightness of the membrane keyboard illumination. Entering values by generic keyboard. Click on an input field and the cursor will change to Insert mode. Then, use the Insert key to switch between Insert and Replace modes. Use the Delete and Backspace keys to remove characters from the left side of the cursor. Use the Tab or Control, or Tab and Control at the same time to exit an input field. For single line fields, press Enter or use the up or down arrows to exit. For multi-line fields, use Enter to create a new line and use Escape to exit without saving. Virtual keyboard. If there is no keyboard, right-clicking a text input field opens a virtual keyboard, which is based on a standard keyboard but with a few differences, whereby clicking OK accepts the entered data, clicking Cancel exits without saving, and clicking / adds a new line. Changing numeric values. Right-clicking a numeric input field opens a numeric keypad. Use the Backspace key to delete values and then enter a new value. Click OK to save changes, and click on the character if you want to cancel and press OK, or click in another input field.
Navigation data line. The navigation data line is permanently visible across the top of the screen, showing the main navigation information of position, its source and the geodetic model in use, heading, rate of turn, speed with its source, course, chart type in use, operational mode, monitoring mode with different display orientations or planning mode, vector display in relation to the ownership, relative or true, display categories of the chart in use, validity information for the chart in use, expiry and out-of-date warnings, date and time. The alarm list is represented by a horn graphic at the right-hand end of the line. Click the graphic to open the list. Basic menu. The basic menu line is also permanently visible in the lower part of the screen. The right-hand side contains buttons which must be accessible at all times and are therefore displayed continuously. Standard display, brightness, tree, and menu. The left-hand side, left of the standard display button, contains operating and display functions which are directly accessible at all times when working in the main chart mode, or the sub-menu buttons when working in conning mode. Chart area. The chart area displays the chart and all additional data that's been programmed. Side strip. The side strip has two functions. One, to display the various top-line menus available in chart mode, and by using these menu buttons to drill down the menu hierarchy. See 1.5 for full details. Or 2, to show the track and control, track and schedule, and NACOS status displays in conning mode. The user can toggle between these two modes by using various shortcut procedures. See 1.5.4 for further details.
Root level. The root level is, in fact, the chart mode, which is the main monitoring mode of ChartPilot and contains nearly all the menus and their subfunctions. Conning mode is also available when the ChartPilot is connected to a TrackPilot. Main menu headings. The main chart mode menus, which are accessed from the side strip in normal use, are Presentation, Radar and AIS, Chart, Alarm Settings, Tracks, and Peripheral Devices. Utilities is available in the tree, but not from the side strip. See next instruction. Sensor settings is also available in some cases, but is used at the service level. Utilities menu. Utilities is an area of activity covering the following function menus that are not directly related to navigation or the operating mode. Chart maintenance, backup and restore, voyage recording, simulation, and system maintenance. These menus are selected directly in the tree, and each opens its own window. Startup display. Selecting Conning in the menu tree starts the overlay in the default navigation menu, and at the same time switches the side strip to the conning mode in the last selected subset. For example, Track and Schedule or Track and Control. The chart is covered by a stylized view of the ship, with its settings in the main panel. External data such as wind, depth, and/or maneuver can be displayed in the left-hand panel, which provides space for 3 different displays, numbered 1, 2, and 3, which are selected and configured via the menus in conning mode. See topic 10.1.1. Other menu functions. In conning mode, the main menus are all displayed in the basic menu line at the bottom left of the screen and are Navigation, the default menu and permanent overlay, Docking, which is a much more detailed view of the ship's behavior, keel clearance, and pilot card. Clicking Docking, Keel Clearance, or Pilot Card opens a new window each time, closing the previous window. To revert to the conning subroutine navigation window, click Exit in the side strip. Warning: if you are in the navigation subroutine and click Exit, you will switch the conning mode off. Calculator menu. Calculator is a function that is activated only from the menu tree in conning mode. It opens its own set of windows and side strip. Calculator is a menu item in its own right and covers reckoning, rendezvous, measured miles, sunrise and sunset, current sailing, and altitude and azimuth. Exit conning. To exit conning, in the basic menu line, click the Menu button. The side strip switches to the administration side of the conning navigation subroutine. In the lower right-hand corner, press the Exit button to leave the conning mode. This switches the subroutine off completely. When working with ChartPilot, it is recommended that you switch off all subroutines that are not needed. This reduces the workload of the ChartPilot computer. If required, the user can easily identify a running subroutine in the tree structure. The related function button name is displayed in red letters. Note: the main program, Chart, which is the ChartPilot Ecdis program itself, cannot be switched off at the operator level tree menu. Chart mode. The Chart mode, when first opened, displays in the side strip the 6 or 7 top-level menu buttons, all of which are active. Presentation, Radar, Chart, Alarm settings, Tracks, Peripheral devices, and, dependent on installation, Sensor settings. Selecting one opens the side strip display with the sub-menu list and information related to that menu. Chart mode. The Chart mode, labeled ChartPilot 1/Chart, changes the side strip content to display 4 configurations: Track and Schedule, Track and Control, Conning, and Docking. This parallels part of the conning overlay content, but within the side strip, whilst keeping the chart visible. Conning subroutine. When conning has been selected in the menu Tree, or by clicking F2, the side strip changes to the ChartPilot 1/Conning view. Now click the Menu button to switch to the conning side strip in the default navigation menu. The side strip now functions as an extended set of dialog checkboxes, and switching to the other conning menus via the basic menu line at the bottom of the screen opens different sets of dialog boxes. Normal operation. When the 2 main operating modes are in use, The menu button toggles between the two modes at whatever menu and sub-menu combination was last chosen. Conning mode. When the conning mode is first activated, it defaults to the navigation menu. The side strip shows Chart Pilot 1/Conning to indicate this subroutine. The menu button now toggles between two displays: the main navigation screen, see Topic 152, Instruction 2, and the navigation subroutine options. Once, however, one of the other conning mode subroutines, such as docking, keel clearance, or pilot card, has been selected, the side strip will offer interfaces for data entry and further subroutine menu access. The menu button is then inactive until you have reverted to the navigation menu. Shortcut keys. The functional buttons F1, F2, and F11 also support the operation for faster access to the menus for chart, as well as for conning modes. F1 changes to chart mode, F2 changes to conning mode, and F11 will open and close the menus in both modes.
The menu button. To open the chart menus, click the menu button on the basic menu line, or click F11.
Brightness menu. Click Brightness on the basic menu line, or use the F9 shortcut key to open the brightness menu. 6 color palettes and brightness levels ranging from bright day to dark night are offered. Checking Gray mode switches the chart area to shades of gray. Some monitors are equipped with a brightness and contrast controller on the front panel. The user must ensure that the balance between these parameters is correctly adjusted by using the control field provided in the brightness menu. When correctly adjusted, the inner square should be faintly but clearly visible. Membrane keyboard. Where a membrane keyboard is fitted, its brightness can be adjusted separately by using the keyboard's own dim plus and dim minus keys.
Base display. In the chart menu structure in the side strip, select Chart, go to the Chart Settings panel and click Category. The field button displays the current setting and opens a drop-down menu to change the setting. Select Base. Base display shows the minimum IMO-defined information. Standard display. To switch to standard display, in the Chart Settings panel, click Category and select Standard. Standard display shows the IMO-designated standard content. All other information. To switch to the All display, in the Chart Settings panel, click Category and select All. The All display shows all available information except that about the chart data quality.
Visibility options. To open this subroutine, click Visibility Options in the Chart Settings panel. The menu that opens allows you to define how symbols are displayed, simplified, or paper chart. How areas are displayed, plain or symbolized. Highlight info highlights the objects for which additional information are available. Symbol I is used. Admiralty Information Overlay. Click on the Admiralty Information Overlay button to open the corresponding submenu. The following operations can be performed. Enable the Admiralty Information Overlay display on the chart. Customize the Admiralty Information Overlay by selecting only the objects that you want to be displayed. Temporary notices, preliminary notices, and no information objects. Enable the display of the object's name. Visibility Groups. Click on the Visibility Groups button to open a list of chart objects, by class. It allows you to determine which groups of chart feature objects will be displayed or not. Click Apply to accept the changes, or Cancel to close without change. Text Group. To enable the text groups, access the Chart menu and go to Additional Settings section. You can control the display of the text by selecting None, Important, and All under the text labels. To customize the text per groups of objects, select Groups, and within Visibility Options window, the Text Groups button is enabled. Access the Text Groups submenu and select the objects you want to be displayed. Click Apply to accept the changes, or Cancel to close without change.
Open menu. To open the menu, in the Chart Root Level menu in the side strip, select Presentation and click Display Mode. Side Strip menu. In the Side Strip menu, you can activate the settings for Monitoring or Planning. Context menu. The simple and fastest way, however, is to right-click on the Navigation data line at the top of the display in the section headed ENC TM/True, which opens the Display Settings context menu. Choose Display Mode and the next level menu is opened, allowing you to select directly from the available Monitoring display orientations or Planning. Changing chart orientation. To change the chart orientation, either check Monitoring in the side strip to activate the function, and then select the required option. Some may be grayed out. Or right-click on ENC TM/True in the navigation data line to open the context menu. Click Display Mode and select one of the available options.
Range field. The range of the chart display is shown in the basic menu line with the range expressed in nautical miles for vector charts such as ENCs. You can change range in two ways. To go to the next available level, simply use the up or down arrows to the left and right of the range field. Or, to change to a range that is more than one level up or down, use the range list, which is covered in the next instruction. Range list. To open the range list, click on the range field itself, or F6, and then select the required scale. This is quicker than scrolling through the ranges. The range list indicates the current range chart with a red diamond and the availability of other vector charts with a black diamond. To exit the range list, click on the down arrow at the bottom of the list.
Opening menu. Open the menu from the side strip by clicking on Chart and then Alarm Settings. Alarm Settings window. The main window is divided into two parts, separated by a line. The upper part covers the chart monitoring functions, the lower part, the track monitoring functions. Together, they make up the Ecdis monitoring function. In real terms, the menu includes the button to the Chart Alarms menu, the audible alarm switch, the Activation and Settings panel for track alarms, and the Activation and Settings panel for depth alarm. Track monitoring functions. To activate the changes for track monitoring: 1. Check track alarms and set the values for course limit, track limit, see also 611 instruction 1, and waypoint approach, see also 611 instruction 2, and then 2. Check depth alarm and set the value for depth limit. Note that this relates to data generated by the echo sounder and is not related to the values set under depth contour, see 262, which relate to the chart. Click Apply to activate the changes for track monitoring, or Cancel to escape, which will revert to the previous settings.
Chart alarms. Opening the Chart Alarms menu allows the look-ahead parameters of the guard sector to be set and activated or deactivated. This is explained in greater detail in the topic 263, Guard Sector or Continuous Safety Watch. It also includes the Anchor Watch Area Alarm switch, which is explained in the next instruction. Chart Alarm Setting. The first four fields of the alarm settings are general and determine minimum speed, look-ahead sector width, and look-ahead sector length defined by distance or time. See Topic 26303, Guard Sector Coverage. Note: running at less than the minimum speed will not generate an alert. Chart alarms. The following three panels relate to safety contour, navigation hazards, special areas. Each of these panels provide checkboxes to allow activation or deactivation of the look-ahead sector, and corresponding alarms by checking the Ahead button. Activation or deactivation of the chart monitoring function for the System Track feature, by checking the On Track button, for which the XTD limit must be set. See Topic 61101. Enable or disable the highlight of those objects crossed by the look-ahead sector, by checking the Visible on Chart button. Visibility settings allows selecting specific areas to be highlighted once they are crossed by the look-ahead sector. Clicking Apply you accept the changes, or cancel to escape. The last button activates the Anchor Watch area. Click Apply to accept the changes, or cancel to escape. Guard Sector Coverage. The guard sector is like a searchlight moving constantly ahead of the ship in the form of a triangle, with its point located at the system position, and its base at a position determined by the sector width. The distance, or time as a function of speed, and the ship's movement is determined by the rate of turn. Once the sector parameters values have been changed, click Apply to accept them, or cancel to escape.
Anchor Watch Area. To use the Anchor Watch Area function, a user chart object of the same name must first be created. Activate the function by clicking the button, and, if the user object has not been created, the following warning will be displayed. Alerting not possible. Own ship position must be located inside an Anchor Watch area.
Opening the menu. To access the Safety Settings menu, go to the Chart Route menu in the sidebar, select Chart, and click Depth Contour to open the subroutine. This menu provides dialog boxes and data fields to make the settings, and a graphic display of the four-color layout, showing how the various depth settings and contours relate to each other. Depth Contour Settings. The Depth Contour menu provides the selector switch for 2 or 4 color setting, the selector switch to define how contours are labeled, which allows None, Safety, the contour only, or all. Graphical highlight of the waters shallower than the safety contour. The display of the isolated dangers is extended to shallow waters as well. The fields which are all active, regardless of color setting to input values via the keyboard, for shallow contour, safety depth, safety contour, and deep contour. Click Apply to take over the changes, or cancel to revert to the previous settings.
Grid. Grid is one of the chart presentation options. Check to display, uncheck to hide. Range rings. Range rings is also one of the chart presentation options. Check to display, uncheck to hide. Own ship settings. Own ship settings are further chart presentation options. Check heading line for a forward extension of the longitudinal axis of the ship's heading. Check stern line for an extension astern. Check vector length and set the length in minutes. Course and speed will be displayed as a vector if vector display in display mode is set to true. Check prediction and set the time in seconds. This feature only functions up to a maximum scale of 1.5 nautical miles and is based on the actual course and speed. Check past position and second past position to show the sailed course of the ship for the set time. With both trails activated, it's possible to check the accuracy of the position sensors. And check time labels and set the desired interval between them to have these displayed on the chart. Where a field is controlled by a slider bar, you can also click the field and use the keyboard left and right arrows to change the values. Setting EBLs. Set each EBL by checking the relevant box in the basic menu line. This sets the EBL in the chart centered on the own ship. Now set the type of EBL by selecting Center, Fix ABS or Fix REL. Center locks the EBL on the ship's position, CCRP. Alternatively, Fix ABS creates an EBL that is locked to one position on the chart, or Fix REL creates an EBL that is locked relative to the ship's movement. Continue by, for Fix ABS and Fix REL only, clicking Set to lock the EBL starting point to the cursor before clicking in the chart area to fix it, and then clicking on the bearing field and moving the cursor over the chart area to set the EBL bearing. The changing angle displays continuously. Click to fix the EBL. VRM. To set the range marker, go to the separate VRM field and check the button to activate the function. Now click in the range field and set the range ring by moving the mouse. Click to fix. Note, if the range marker is activated whilst a fixed or relative EBL is open, a short line is drawn across the EBL at the same distance from its point of origin as set for the range marker.
Sensor data. The sensor data is contained in 4 fields. 1. Coordinates with abbreviated source name and geodetic datum and projection in use. 2. Heading with abbreviated compass source name and rate of turn calculated from the heading change. 3. Speed with abbreviated source name and mode, where BT equals bottom track and WT equals water track, and course, but only if bottom track and water track are available to calculate drift. 4. Date and time. This line also includes the chart and display mode field. Other data. This line also includes the chart and display mode field, which is covered in Topic 141, Instruction 1. Conning display. We are still in the chart menu structure, so click the Menu button at the bottom of the screen to hide the menus and display the Chart Pilot 1/Chart side strip. Now click the top menu button in the side strip and select Conning. The side strip now displays, in addition to the main system track data, wind, graphically in a wind compass that includes the own ship outline on the current gyro heading, the wind direction, yellow arrow pointing inward, the current direction, blue arrow pointing outward, and the present course from the gyro heading and drift angle, red line. The speed in meters per second or knots, and the direction numerically and as relative, measured by the anemometer, or true, computed by the system. Depth, with the number of the selected transducer, the present depth in meters, and the echogram of the last 10 minutes. Right-click on the depth range to adjust the scale or set it to automatic. Docking display. To switch to Docking display, click the side strip menu button and select Docking. The side strip changes to display the information required for docking maneuvers where available, numerically and graphically. Rate of turn in green for starboard, red for port. Heading, pitch, shaft RPM, speed for 3 criteria, transverse speed at the bow, longitudinal speed, and transverse speed at the stern. Rudder angle numerically and as a symbol, only in NACOS with Track Pilot installed. Depth with the number of the selected transducer. And wind direction, speed in meters per second or knots, and whether relative or true. Navigation menus. We are still in the chart mode, so click the tree button at the bottom of the screen to open the menu structure and select Conning, or use the shortcut key F2. The side strip opens automatically in navigation with 2 menus available: Track Schedule and Track Control. These determine the side strip content, but do not change the graphic display in the main screen. Navigation graphic display. The main screen graphic display provides the following information, where available, numerically, graphically, or both. Rate of turn, in green for starboard, red for port. Heading. Speed for 3 criteria. Transverse speed at the bow. Longitudinal speed. And transverse speed at the stern. Graphic bars for power, pitch and shaft, clutch, and rudder angle, only in NACOS with Track Pilot installed. Docking display. From Navigation, click Docking in the basic menu line to switch to the docking display. The side strip provides category checkboxes that determine what sensor data is displayed. The complete list includes rate of turn in green for starboard, red for port, heading, drift speed and set, wind direction, speed in meters per second or knots, and whether relative or true. Depth with the number of the selected transducer. Draft, fore and aft. Ship status covering trim, heel, list, squat and clearance. Speed for 3 criteria. Transverse speed at the bow, longitudinal speed and transverse speed at the stern. Shaft RPM, pitch, power and rudder angle, only in NACOS with track pilot installed. Keel clearance display. From docking, click Keel Clearance in the basic menu line to switch to the Keel Clearance display. The side strip provides the depth scale and speed unit selector controls. The graphic display includes draft, aft and fore in meters, minimum depth, trim, heel, list, squat, remaining clearance, speed, and actual depth in a graphic of the hull and the water depth. Click Exit to revert to the navigation display.
We completed the previous topic in conning mode. To open the sensor settings menu, click Tree, select Chart mode or use the shortcut key F1 and then Sensor Settings in the main menu list. Remember that in use on board, the availability of this menu is dependent on the initial setup and on the circumstances at the time it's used, as indicated above. Functionality. The sensor settings menu consists of 2 frames. The upper frame for the administration of the system sensors and covering the navigation sensor data that's checked and referenced to the Consistent Common Reference Point, the CCRP, which is sent to all equipment in a system, even to a dual chart pilot set. Note that this frame is read-only in an INS. And the lower frame for the administration of local sensors. This can also be used in the case of a fatal failure of the INS to carry out an independent emergency setting of the navigation sensor devices that are connected directly to the local machine and activates the sub-menus for Set Gyro, Speed Sensor, Position Sensor, Second Position Sensor if fitted, and Date and Time, which is a system sensor. Set Gyro. The Set Gyro menu is operative with the system sensor only. It's used to accept the currently transferred change of heading data to the navigation interface. For instance, on first use after an interruption or signal failure from the heading measurement system, such that no input is available in the set field. Modern compass systems deliver the heading information as an absolute value, but the transfer of the heading information may use a technique that transfers just the course change but not the absolute value, the so-called stepper or synchro system. Where this applies, the synchronization of the course transfer must be checked after the signal transfer is switched on and, if necessary, corrected. From the Sensor Settings menu, click Set Gyro. 1. The gyro heading value, to which the system is currently synchronized, is indicated under Actual. 2. Now enter the heading value from the compass into the Set field. And 3. When the values are identical, click OK, which exits the menu. And 4. Check that the same heading values are now being displayed in the navigation data line of the chart pilot and on the compass indicator. Speed sensors. To open this menu, click the Speed Sensor button. The menu opens displaying the Select panel, which lists the available sensors for selection of the most appropriate sensor, and in the second panel, the current selection with its status and associated data. All IEC 61162 1 and 2 compliant navigation instruments provide own status data and show valid value if the transferred data is good, or invalid value if not, and not available if no status information is transmitted. The next instruction looks at the types of sensor and the way the menu behaves. Either a simple speed sensor or a position sensor can be selected, which determines how the menu reacts. A dual-axis speed sensor can simultaneously supply speed through the water and over the bottom. It requires the log priority to be set to the required value. WT for water track, BT for bottom track, and displays the result as, for example, log 1 bottom track. Note: no input is possible if the sensor is only transmitting one value. A single-axis sensor sets the log description to water track, and the manual input panel opens to enter drift as the direction or set of the drift and the speed of drift. A position sensor always provides bottom track data. Note: be aware of your flag state's guidance on the use of position receivers to fulfill the IMO performance standards for SDME, speed and distance measuring equipment. Click OK to enter the selection. Cancel to exit the menu without change. Position sensor. Opening the position sensor or second position sensor menus allows the user to select the most appropriate sensor from the available list. The selected sensor is shown, for example, GPS 1, and shows the transferred data status as status valid, status invalid, or no status, if the sensor is not sending a status message together with the reported coordinates. The use of GPS panel allows you to select the fallback setup of DGPS only or DGPS and GPS in case of failure when DGPS has been chosen. The distance and bearing to the position generated by the selected sensor from the current position in the chart pilot are also displayed. Click OK to enter the settings. Cancel to exit the menu without change.
Estimated position. In the Position Sensor menu, select Estimated. Enter the position from which dead reckoning is to be started, and click OK to start Dead reckoning running. Manual setting. Now select Manual. The upper area shows the longitudinal and transverse speeds that were last entered. Manual input allows you to enter the running speed, the direction or set of the drift, and the speed of drift. Date and time. If date and time are incorrect, change the date and/or time fields. Set the appropriate time zone and click OK to exit and save. Cancel exits without saving. Activating local sensors. To activate local sensors, check the box to the panel title. The corresponding fields in the navigation data line are framed in red to indicate the use of local sensors.
Position sensor alarm. If a position sensor fails, the alarm "position invalid" or "position timeout" is generated. The system then switches automatically to estimated position, as indicated above. Speed heading gyro alarm. If the speed or heading sensor fails while using the estimated position, the alarm gyro fault, speed timeout, or speed invalid is generated, and the last trusted value is used for dead reckoning. Alarm display. Alerts consist of a text message and, in most cases, an acoustic alarm. Alarms, warnings and indications. Alerts consist of alarms, warnings and indications. Alarms are marked with a red circle at the beginning of the alarm message line. Warnings are marked with a yellow triangle inside the alarm panel, and indications have no identifying symbol in the message line. Acknowledge alarm. The Acknowledge button silences the acoustic alarm. Alternatively, the right Cancel mouse or trackball button will silence the acoustic alert too. This first click does not acknowledge an alert completely, and it continues to be indicated by a flashing alarm or warning symbol at the front of the alert message row. Complete acknowledgement of the alert is only achieved with the second click of the same button, Acknowledge or mouse trackball, which then stops the alert symbol from flashing. In case of multiple alerts, several alarm rows in the alarm list, the operator must first mark the alert message line which is to be acknowledged. This row is then highlighted in neon green and can be acknowledged. Cancel closes the alarm list, but the alarm remains in the list if the reason for the alarm is still active. Note: alarms disappear from the alarm list when the cause disappears. Acknowledgement is then unnecessary. Alarm button. The horn symbol is the access button to the alarm list. It turns red if there is just one alarm that is not acknowledged. click on the horn to open the list. Chart Alarm List. The alarm list is a dialog box in which alarms are listed by date, time, source and description, with the latest at the top. The alarm list also provides a switch to Show Chart Alarm List. The chart alarm list provides the chart alarm object category, its range and bearing from the current ship's position, with CCRP as the reference position, and the description of the alert. Select any alarm from the chart alarm list, and a red circle marks the object that is the cause of the alarm in the chart area.
Look Ahead Sector Alarms. The Look Ahead sector detects chart dangers in front of the vessel. To adjust the Look Ahead chart alarms, open the Alarm Settings and click on Chart Alarms. The settings can be adjusted based on the area of navigation and the personal preferences of the navigator. According to the IHO standards, the chart alerts are divided into 3 categories. Generally, it is recommended to activate all 3 categories. 1. Safety Contour Alerts. If the Ahead checkbox is selected, they will trigger an alarm, and it will be displayed in the alarm list. If the Visible on Chart checkbox is selected, they are displayed in the chart area with red color. The Safety Contour Alerts cannot be adjusted. 2. Navigational Hazard Alerts. If the relevant checkboxes are selected, they trigger warnings, and they are displayed in the chart area with yellow color. Three. Area Alerts. Firstly, select the Ahead checkbox, and then click on the Visibility Settings button to select the areas that will trigger alarms. Choose the desired checkboxes and confirm with Apply. The areas are detected and highlighted in yellow, while a warning is triggered. If the Ahead checkboxes are deselected, the Look Ahead sector is deactivated, and the chart alarms are not triggered. When the Look Ahead is activated, the system will still detect dangers, even if they are not displayed on the screen. Indication Highlight. If the Ahead checkbox is deselected, the chart dangers will not be detected, and they will not be displayed, neither in the chart, nor in the alarm list. A yellow box with an exclamation mark is displayed in the navigation status line. Click on that symbol to see more details, and identify which settings are switched off. Note: all the Ahead checkboxes should be selected, in order to remove the yellow box. If the Ahead checkbox is selected in all the groups, but the Visible on Chart is not selected, the alerts will be displayed in the alarm list, but not shown on the chart area with a specific color code. The white box with the exclamation mark is displayed in the navigation status line. Click to see the details. Sensor loss. If the selected position sensor fails, the system automatically switches over to estimated position. A message about the failure is given, and the position timeout alarm, or position invalid alarm, is triggered. If the course sensor, or speed sensor fails, while estimated position is switched on, the alarm gyro fault, speed timeout, or speed invalid, will be triggered. The value used for the dead reckoning is the last course, or speed value transferred before the failure. Route monitoring alerts. The following route alerts can be triggered by the Ecdis. Track limit exceeded. An alarm will be triggered if the ship's position exceeds the defined off-track distance. Approaching waypoint. Whenever the vessel approaches the waypoint, a warning will be triggered beforehand, depending on the time set up by the user. Anchor watch area alarms. To activate the anchor watch area alarm, access the alarm settings, chart alarms, and enable the relevant checkbox. The anchor watch area becomes red when the ship touches the boundary of the anchor watch area. The exiting anchor watch area alarm is triggered. This alarm cannot be acknowledged. It disappears when the ship is completely inside the anchor watch area again. When the ship leaves the anchor watch area, the out of anchor watch area warning is triggered. It can be acknowledged or deactivated.
Two. Right-click in the chart information area of the navigation data line to open the context menu. Go to Chart Type and select the required chart type.
Chart type alarms. If the chosen chart type is not approved or does not cover the actual position, ChartPilot shows an alarm. The next two instructions cover the various alarms that appear in the navigation data line for vector charts and then for raster charts. Navigation data line. When using vector charts, alarms, some highlighted, can appear in the navigation data line. Overscaled. The chart is being used at too large a scale. Change the scale to suit the range. Chart off. Vector chart display is switched off. Permit worn. Yellow. The chart is not up to date or the subscription has expired. Non-HO data. Yellow. ENC is selected under Type and a cell is displayed that was not officially issued by an HO. The edge of this cell is hatched in orange. License. Yellow. The chart is not up to date, red background, or CM93/3 Pro license expiry date has been reached, after which only general background and world navigational cells can be displayed. Not available. No ENC is available at a scale appropriate for navigation. Navigation data line. When using raster charts, the following alarms can appear in the navigation data line. Bad scale. There is a chart with a better or larger scale. Zoom times 2. The scale of enlargement. Chart off. Raster chart display is switched off. Datum mismatch. Yellow. The position data contained in the chart are not WGS84 position values. License expired. The chart license has expired, so it might not be up to date. And ENC available. An electronic chart of type ENC is available for the area displayed.
Symbols and presentation. To define which symbols will be displayed, in Chart mode, open Chart, and in the Chart settings frame, set the category to Base, Standard, or All. To define how the symbols will be displayed, click Visibility Options and set the parameters for Symbols as Simplified or Paper Chart, Areas as Symbolized or Plain, Highlight Official Updates as None, Last for only those included in the last official update, or All. Objects depending on date as Within Effective Dates or Always Visible, and then check whichever of the items in the following list that are required to be displayed. The next instruction will look at the Visibility Groups menu. Visibility Groups. The Visibility Groups menu allows you to customize the display by selecting the categories of chart objects that will be displayed. It consists of two sets. Surface objects, covering navigational hazard categories, cautionary areas, information areas, traffic routes, buoys and beacons, light or fog signals, pilot or signal stations, and standard land features, and other categories including subsurface data, which you can view on the display. Color diagram and depth display. To open the color diagram, click with the Info key, middle mouse or left trackball button, inside the chart area. The Info context menu, the Pickup report, opens. Now select the Legend tab. Click Ecdis Chart 1 Presentation and click on Show Color Test Diagram in the list that opens. The diagram is displayed in the chart area. Click Standard Display in the basic menu line to close the diagram. Depth contour. The chart pilot can display depths in 2 or 4 color mode. To set this, select Chart and open the Depth Contour menu. Set the depth shades to 2 or 4, and then set the individual depth values. Use the Contour Labels field to set the labeling to None, Safety, or All, and then click Apply to take over the changes, or Cancel to return to the original setting. Coordinates Reference System. Chart Pilot can use a number of reference systems. To select the reference system, in Chart Pilot click Presentation and open the Coordinate System menu. 2 criteria are covered. Projection can be set to Mercator or radar, and geodetic datum can be set to WGS84, WGS72, ED50, PD, System 42/83 or NAD27. Click Apply to take over the changes, or Reset to restore the previous settings. Alternatively, right-click on the Position field in the navigation data line and select the desired projection and datum in the drop-down menu. Note, this menu is only operative when using vector charts. It's not available with ARCS charts.
Chart information. Click on any symbol in the chart area using the Info key, middle mouse or left trackball button, and the Information context menu. Pickup report opens. Select Chart Content, and the information for the listed items can be displayed by clicking on them. Chart Legend. To view the chart legend, click inside the chart area using the Info key, middle mouse or left trackball button, and the Information context menu. Pickup report opens. Select Legend and then Ecdis Chart 1 Presentation. All the symbols used in vector charts are listed, and by clicking on one of them, Chart 1 with the desired information will be displayed in the chart area.
Chart additions. To insert a user chart object, open the Chart menu and ensure that Visible is checked in the User Chart Objects frame. Now, open the Edit User Chart Objects menu. The menu contains two frames. The upper, Set Objects frame is for defining the type of object, and the lower, Modify Objects frame sets up the functions for modifying the object. Note, in an INS, the menu will not open if it's open on another unit of the system. Creating user objects. To create a user chart object, in the Set Objects frame, check the type of object required and define it in the frame that then opens. If a further drop-down menu appears, complete or select as appropriate. Now click on the required position in the chart and the object is created. Symbol is the most detailed process. Select Symbol opens a drop-down list of available symbols for selection, many of which open further characteristic menus. And Set Symbol Position allows you to position the object by entering the coordinates. Line will only create a single leg object, and you need to activate the Continue button under Modify Object to extend it. Note, other menu options can be available dependent on the software version. Modifying a user object. To modify a user chart object, in the Modify Objects frame, check the required action and click on the symbol to be modified. Distance and bearing are displayed to facilitate the modification. deleting a user chart object. To delete a user object, check Delete under Modify Objects and click on the symbol to be deleted. The object name, for example, light vessel, is displayed to allow verification. Click on the name to delete the object. Managing of user chart objects. User chart objects are stored in files and catalogues, with lines and symbols being stored differently from areas. ChartPilot automatically defines these files and catalogues by reference to subdivisions of the Earth's surface. Lines and symbols are saved by chart segment, where each file covers a segment measuring 3 by 3 degrees, which includes all lines and symbols in that segment. And each catalogue covers 25 files or segments representing an area measuring 15 by 15 degrees. Areas, marked events, and entered position fixes are stored in a single file covering the entire globe. It's not possible to change the content of the files and catalogues or to print it. MOB marker reference point. In the case of a man overboard incident, it's always advisable to mark the position where it happened. Two methods are available. The quick way is to press the function button F5 and Enter, return, to open the drop event window, which uses the current ship's position. If this isn't appropriate, check the Pick switch and set the position in the chart using the cursor. The event can then be labelled using the Remark function, which defaults to the last used comment. Type a new remark in the field or open Select to pick an existing label. The other way is to open the Events menu under Chart, which provides more options. Drop Event has the same result as F5. Edit Remarks List allows you to add new labels permanently. Time UTC and Remarks are headings for the list of active events. Mark an event and click Show in Chart to center the event in the display, or Delete to remove it completely.
LOP1. To insert LOPs in the Chart menu, open Lines of Position and then 1. Select LOP1 in the frame. 2. Enter the position of the first observed object, or use Pick Position to select the object graphically from the chart area with the mouse. Make sure you are using the right chart type. 3. Enter the distance and the bearing from the radar display. Four. Check Actual if you are currently observing the object, or Manual to enter the time when the observation was made. 5. Click Apply to take over the changes. A line of position will be drawn in the chart area, and a resulting position fix is calculated. Now repeat the procedure using LOP2 for the second observed object. And LOP3 for the third observed object. The resulting position fixes are displayed in the boxes below their respective LOP fields. Finally, select Drop Position Fix, and the position will be drawn in the chart. LOP2. Alternatively, 1. Select LOP1 in the frame. 2. Enter the position of the first observed object, or use Pick Position to select the object graphically from the chart area with the mouse. 3. Enter the visually measured bearing. 4. Check Actual if you are currently observing the object, or Manual to enter the time when the observation was made. 5. Click Apply to take over the changes. A line of position will be drawn in the chart area. 6. Now repeat the procedure using LOP2 for the second observed object. And, if possible, LOP3 for the third observed object. The resulting position fixes are displayed in the boxes below their respective LOP fields. And, finally, 7. Select Drop Position Fix, and the position will be drawn in the chart. LOP3. Or 1. Select LOP1 in the frame. 2. Enter the position of the first observed object, or use Pick Position to select the object graphically from the chart area with the mouse. 3. Enter the visually measured bearing. 4. Check Actual if you are currently observing the object, or Manual to enter the time when the observation was made. 5. Click Apply to take over the changes. A line of position will be drawn in the chart area. 6. Now wait until the ship's position has created a reasonable cross-section angle. 'Open LOP2 and insert the new bearing to the same object and click Apply. '7. Then, in the Mode field, select Transfer LOP1 and click Apply. The resulting position fix will be generated in the frame below. Then, 8. Select Drop Position Fix, and the position will be drawn in the chart. LOP data and dead reckoning. Lines of position form part of the voyage recording dataset and cannot be deleted, in contrast to position fixes. The Lines of Position menu function used for DR origin will support the DR mode with approved position fixes. This will work if none of the position fixing devices, such as the GPS, are delivering data. Position fixes. To enter a known position, in the Chart menu, open Position Fixes. A list of the sensor-determined positions is shown. Select one of the positions. The menu offers the following options. Show in Chart displays it in the chart area. Delete removes it from the chart. Drop Position Fix allows you to enter the position permanently. Or Pick allows you to use the cursor to select a position finding method. OK takes over the changes. Cancel closes the window without any change. Starting route planning. To start route planning, if you are not already in chart mode, click Tree and select Chart, and then click Presentation in the side strip. Now select Display Mode and highlight Planning by a left click. This switches Chart Pilot to the Planning mode, which results in the following changes to the display. The Own Ship symbol is decoupled from Chart Area. Operators can select a start position for planning, independent from current ship's position. Users will select the start position by cursor movement with pressing the functional shortcut button F7. If the chart border is reached or in chart mode, under the use of Menu, Chart, Presentation, Display Mode in activated frame. Planning by typing in coordinates. The operating configuration planning is indicated by the abbreviation Plan True in the navigation data line, instead of TM HU CD N up. And in the same line, at the right-hand field of the geographical position, with its origin Planning, will indicate the center position of the chart display. Starting Track Editor. In the Track menu, select Edit, and the side strip menu changes to display the selected track, a number of menu buttons that will be explained later, the graphic mode function activation boxes, and the text mode activation box. Starting text mode. In the side strip, check Text Mode and the Text Editing window opens, where the top 4 fields provide the administrative data on the chosen track. The main field is the Waypoint list, with the buttons for editing the content. The Columns button opens a menu to define the list content and sequence, and the lower portion contains the parameter fields of a waypoint selected in Waypoint List. A waypoint is selected by the black highlighting bar in Waypoint List, which will be explained in the next instruction. Of these, geographic position is filled automatically by selected waypoint from the above-mentioned waypoint list, and waypoint notes can be filled individually. Note: it is recommended to fill waypoint parameter before the first waypoint will be edited. All subsequent waypoints will be filled, earned with these initial parameters. This will have a significant influence on the further track treatment. Setting waypoint parameters. To set the parameters for waypoints, use the fields Waypoint number to set the type of waypoint, arrival, A, or change parameter waypoint, P, or waypoint without any additional attribute, just for altering the course without entry in schedule calculations, etc. The sail control to define sail as rum line or great circle, 2 as track or waypoint, and radius for the turns. To waypoint use, to set the planned speed parameter, or profile speed for use when a speed pilot is installed. And at waypoint change, to set the course limit in degrees, the track limit in meters, and the rudder economy by using the slider. Changing waypoint parameters. If you wish to change the waypoint parameters, or forgot to set them initially, you can do so after the track has been created. In the waypoint list, mark the waypoints that need to be changed. Now make your changes in the parameter frame for the selected waypoints. The Enter button will confirm your changes for several waypoints. An additional window will pop up automatically. It indicates the items which are in progress to be changed by the operator. If you confirm this checkbox with the OK button, the mass change will be performed. Reset reverts to the settings that applied when this menu was opened.
Setting waypoints. Having set the track parameters, you can now start constructing the route and adding waypoints. If not already in the Track menu, open Chart Mode, select the Track menu, and then click Edit. The Edit menu is displayed and Chart Pilot goes to Planning Configuration. Now check Set Continue in the Graphic Mode frame to activate this function, and then click in the chart to position the first waypoint. Move the cursor to the next point and click to set the second waypoint, and so on. Moving the cursor out of the chart area or clicking the right Cancel mouse button will exit the setting function. This function applies to all other activities in this topic and will not be explained again in full. Deleting waypoints. To delete a waypoint, check Delete to activate this function, and then click on the waypoints that are to be deleted, and then click. Moving waypoint. To move a waypoint, check Modify to activate this function. Now click on the waypoint to be moved, which fixes it to the cursor, and then on the desired position to drag and drop it. Click to exit the function. Inserting waypoints. To insert a waypoint, check Set Continue again. Now click on the track line between two waypoints, which fixes it to the cursor, and then on the desired position to set the new waypoint. This process can be repeated as long as the Cancel button has not been used to exit the function. Adding waypoints in front of the first waypoint. To insert a new first waypoint, check Set Continue again. Now click on the first waypoint and then on the desired position for the new waypoint in front of the first one, and then click. Adding waypoints after the last waypoint. To add a new waypoint at the end of the route, again check Set Continue. Now click on the last waypoint and then on the desired position for the new waypoint after the last one. Right-click to exit the function. Insert parameter point. Parameter points allow the settings for the route to be changed without changing the course. Check Set Parameter Point, then click on the track line to insert the parameter point and the Cancel button to exit the function. The parameters then have to be set as described in 5115 and apply only for the remainder of that leg. The values that can be changed are course limit, track limit, rudder economy, planned speed, and if a speed pilot is installed, profile speed. To inherit all waypoints from existing track. This Ecdis allows you to combine a new route with a saved route. Having started to create a route in the Edit menu, select the function button Merge. This opens the selection menu for catalogues and tracks. Select the required track and click OK. Both tracks will be combined to one. The second track is added to the end of the one that you had already started. Do not forget to save the new combination, if required, with a different running number and name. Adding waypoints. To start constructing the route and adding waypoints, in Chart mode, select Tracks and then Edit. The Edit menu is displayed. If Text mode is not checked, check it, and the text editor window opens. Now, enter the coordinates of the waypoint in the Geographic Position panel. Click the Sail field to select Rumline or Great Circle. Click the To field to determine if the track control will work to waypoint or track. Set the radius value required and click Enter to add the waypoint to the list. Adding a remark is recommended to assist with identification. And this can also be displayed and printed in the time planning list. Check Arrival in the waypoint type to ensure that it's displayed in the route plan. To add another waypoint after the last one, mark the empty line below the last waypoint and simply correct the data which is displayed. And press Enter. Insert waypoint before a waypoint. To insert a waypoint, highlight the one in the waypoint list above which you want to make the insertion. Now, correct the data in the relevant fields and press Insert. Deletion of waypoint. To delete a waypoint, mark it and then press Delete. Note, the data is held on the clipboard until something else is deleted or copied. Copying and adjusting waypoints. A further simple method of adding a waypoint using existing bearing and distance information is to use the Adjust feature. Mark a waypoint in the waypoints list, press Copy and Paste. The copy is inserted immediately after the copied waypoint. Now, mark the new waypoint and click Adjust. A drop-down window opens to allow distance and bearing to be changed. Change the values as required and click OK. And click Enter. The new waypoint is inserted with the modified parameters. Inserting a deleted waypoint. A deleted waypoint can be reinserted by highlighting the waypoint above which it's to be placed and pressing Paste. The waypoint which was deleted or copied last will be inserted. This procedure can be used to move waypoints. Taking over waypoints from existing track. With the text editor open and a new route not started or partly created, open Load in the Tracks menu. Click Load, select the catalogue and track from which the waypoints should be copied, and press OK. Now open the Edit menu and check Text Mode to open the editor. Mark the waypoints to be copied and press Copy. Go next to the Select menu and the route under construction is displayed. Select Partly Created Route and click OK. Mark the next empty track and press Paste. Take over an entire track. With the text editor open and a new route not started or partly created, open Load in the Tracks menu and select the desired catalogue and track by pressing OK. Now open the Edit menu under Track. Check Text Mode to open the editor. Choose the partly created route under the Select button, then OK. Click Merge to display the route under construction and mark the track in which it should be included, then click OK to leave the Merge menu. All waypoints are inserted after the last waypoint. Copy waypoints from a waypoint list. With the text editor open, mark the waypoint above which the waypoints should be inserted and click Compose. A pop-up menu opens. Select the desired waypoints to be copied and press Copy to Track. Reversing the entire route. The reverse feature is discussed in 5255, reversing a track. Check the track. After creating or editing a track, it should be checked for construction errors and against the chart and user chart objects. To do this, simply click on Check in the Tracks menu. The Tracks Errors window opens with the first constructional errors. Right-click on an error to open a context menu. Show in Chart takes you into graphic mode with the error centered in the chart area. Edit Waypoint takes you into the text editor where you can edit it. The Extreme Values button opens a dialog box with the lowest and highest values set for the whole track. After correcting the constructional errors, click Check again and the track will be checked against the chart. Save the track. Each track is stored in a catalogue with a different track number. Once a route has been created, click Store in the Tracks menu, choose a catalogue. A track number may already be displayed, so type in a new number and an appropriate track name. Some menus show only the first 13 characters of the name. If the selected track number already exists, you have to acknowledge overwriting the other track. Otherwise, press No and select a new track number. Pressing OK will save the track. Cancel will close the menu without saving, but still leaving the track on the chart. Edit the track. A track must be loaded before it can be edited. Go to Edit in the Tracks menu, click Select, highlight the track to be edited, and press OK. You can modify the track in graphic or in text mode. To save the changes, click Store and select OK. Store the track without changing the track number by pressing Yes in the Confirmation Request window. Delete a track. To delete a track, open Delete in the Tracks menu, choose the catalogue and the track to be deleted, and press OK. Confirmation will be requested. Press Yes to delete or No to exit the query window and keep the track. Cancel will exit without making any change. Import a track. To import a track, first put a DOS-formatted diskette or USB stick where used into the drive. Now go to Tree in the menu bar, select Utilities and open Backup Restore. Click the Restore button and select the tracks to be imported, and then click Restore from Device. All the selected tracks will be saved to the Import-Export catalogue. The tracks can then be loaded in the normal manner. Export a track. To save tracks in any catalogue to an external storage device, go to Tree in the menu bar, select Utilities and open Backup Restore. Now check Backup and select the tracks to be saved to the external disk and click Add Files. They'll be displayed in the Files to Backup Device panel. Insert the external diskette, and click Backup to Device. Print. To print a list of all the waypoints in a track, you must first load the track. Now open the Edit menu, check Text Mode, and press Print. A drop-down menu opens, allowing you to select the format. Press OK to print or Cancel to edit the drop-down menu. Track display format. The track is shown as light orange dots if loaded, and deep orange-red dashes if set as the system track. Waypoints are displayed as circles with a bar in front of them, indicating the wheel over point. Starting waypoint file. From within the track menu, select Waypoint File and click Edit. The side strip displays a menu very similar to the Track Edit menu with function buttons and either graphic mode or text mode activation boxes. Creating a waypoint file. To create a waypoint file, click New and then Set in the graphic mode frame. Now insert the waypoints in the chart, which will appear without legs, and then switch to text mode to enter the user identification data. You now need to save the file. Saving a waypoint file. To save a waypoint file, click Store, select the catalogue in which the file is to be saved, change the file number, not automatic, and name. The system generates untitled number so that it's easily identifiable, and click OK. Use Clear to remove the waypoints from the display, and Load to display a saved file. Using a waypoint file to facilitate route construction. A waypoint file can be used to create or compose a new route. To do this, load the required file, and then, in graphic mode, check the Compose function in the frame and join the required waypoints from the loaded file in order to get the new route. Or, in text mode, click the Compose button and the waypoint list will be filled with the waypoints from the loaded file. Mark one or more waypoint rows in the list and click Copy to Track to insert the waypoints in the new track list. Reversing a track. It's possible to reverse the direction in which a complete track will be sailed, but a number of points need to be kept in mind. With a track loaded or constructed, in the Track Edit menu, click Reverse. The first waypoint becomes the last, and the last one becomes the first. The assignment of the waypoint data to the waypoints is automatically adjusted so that the entered values relate to the track segments for which they were intended. Profile speed, planned speed and waypoint notes are now shown at the next waypoint. Sailing mode, track control mode, rudder economy, course limit and track limit are shown at the preceding waypoint, and all other waypoint data remains unchanged. Warning: after reversal of the track, it's necessary to check carefully whether the existing data are correct for the new sailing direction as well. Course and track limits exceeded. The system will also generate an alarm when the course heading and the distance from the planned track exceed the set limits. To set these limits, in the Alarm Settings menu, 1. Check Track Alarms. Then set 2. The angular deviation under Course Limit. 3. The distance from the planned track under Track Limit. And 4. Click Apply to take over the changes. Notes: 1. When a route is activated, becoming the so-called system track, these parameters are filled automatically, but can be overwritten at any time when the new entry becomes operative. 2. In integrated systems, these fields are grayed out, and the function is performed in the track pilot. 3. Course and track limits and wheel over point approach, time to go, in relation to current ship's position, will be displayed at several other frames and interfaces, for example, conning page, at the track schedule and track control windows of the chart pilot sidebar, and multi-pilot, radar pilot interfaces. Approaching waypoint. The system will generate a warning when approaching a waypoint to provide advanced notice of the change in course. The amount of advance notice can be set. To do this, in Chart mode select the Alarm Settings menu, and then, in the Track Alarms frame, check Waypoint Approach, set the time remaining to a waypoint when the alarm should be given, and click Apply to take over the changes. Remarks: systems with track pilots will perform the same monitoring as the Ecdis chart pilot. When in track mode, ship will follow this pre-planned track line. Only the track master, one of the multi-pilot radar pilot, in charge with track pilot control inside, will issue and acknowledge appropriate alarms. This will prevent double alarms for the same reasons.
Activate route. To activate a track, in Chart mode, open the Track menu, select Set System Track. Choose the required track and click OK. Deactivate route. To deactivate the system track, open the Track menu and click Cancel System Track. Note: installations with Track Pilot during track mode, under the use of an activated route, a system track, will not allow the deactivation of the system track from other stations than the Track Master 8 radar, or multi-pilot in charge with track pilot control.
Track schedule display. To activate the required display, first activate a route as in 6211, then click Menu to close all menus. Chart Pilot 1 chart is displayed in the Track Schedule menu configuration. The information relating to the voyage is displayed in the various side strip information frames. Track Control Display. This instruction assumes that the system track is still open. To activate the required display, if necessary, click Menu to close all menus. Chart Pilot 1 chart is displayed in the Track Schedule menu configuration. Click Track Schedule and select Track Control. The data display changes to show the different information set and the option button for Planned Time Schedule, Actual Time Schedule, and Next Leg Data. Conning display. This instruction assumes that the system track is still open. To activate the required display, if necessary, click Menu to close all menus. Chart Pilot 1 chart is now displayed in the Track Control menu configuration, which was the last one used. Click Track Control and select Conning. The display changes to a more ship-related set of data, including cross-track distance graphic, a wind compass and readout, and a depth graphic.
System Track Schedule. To start creating an activated schedule, click Menu, then select Track. Set a loaded track to a System Track. Open Time Schedule and click System Track. The time schedule for the system track will be loaded. Note: a warning will appear if no system track is available, or if a loaded track was not activated as the system track. Load Track Time Schedule. To create the passage plan for one of the other created routes, click Loaded Tracks, which will open a menu from which you can select the track for which the plan is required, and click OK. The time schedule will be loaded for this track. Time Schedule. In the Time Schedule, set the time zone, UTC, actual or manual, which then forms the basis for all entries. The Show All checkbox allows you to see all the waypoints when checked, or, when not checked, only those with the arrival attribute in the editor checked. The other features of this window are covered under ETA Calculator in the next topic. Set Arrival Point. To set the arrival point, mark the waypoint at which the calculation should end and click Set Arrival, or right-click on the waypoint and select Arrival. Note that only a waypoint with the Arrival attribute checked, as indicated by the letter A after the waypoint number, can be set as the arrival point. It is therefore advisable to ensure that the waypoint type column is included in the schedule list. See Topic 511, Instruction 3. Speed-based calculation. The ETA calculator provides two options, or basing the calculation on speed. In the Speed Base panel, check Planned and enter the maximum speed that is permitted for the voyage, or check Set and enter the constant speed that is to be maintained. Click Apply to enter the values. Note: the speed base can be defined by the track parameter if it is pre-planned during track edit work. In this case, the planned speed will come from the so-called pilot data. These are the waypoint parameters. Time-based calculation. Alternatively, the ETA calculator can be set to determine the voyage parameters by defining departure and arrival times. In the two panels at the bottom of the screen, and for planning purposes with a loaded track, departure shows the set starting waypoint. Enter the departure date and time and click Apply. Arrival shows the set finishing point. Enter the arrival date and time and click Apply. The result is an arrival speed, abbreviated to ARSP in the column heading. For a system track, the set departure will be made by the function Select to Waypoint in the track menu. The start time will be calculated based from the current situation. In Arrival panel, changes in date and time will issue the appropriate arrival speed. This speed can be used to control the ship's speed by operators or by optional speed pilot installations. The activation of this schedule will be necessary for that. The operator will use the button Activate Schedule. Display content. Clicking the Columns button opens the Time Schedule Columns configuration menu, which allows you to determine what will be displayed in the time schedule. It displays available and configured panels with Add and Remove buttons to transfer headings. This feature can also be used to change the sequence in which the columns are displayed. OK accepts the changes. Reset discards the changes, and Cancel closes the window without change. Print time schedule. If you wish to print the passage plan, click Print, and the pop-up menu Print Time Schedule will be displayed. Select the print format. Passage plan, which will only include intermediate waypoints with the arrival attribute checked. Passage list, which includes all waypoints regardless of the arrival attribute setting. And as configured, which prints the list as displayed in the time schedule, but ignoring the Show All setting and allows some customization. Now select the desired printer and click OK to print the file, or Cancel to exit the menu. Activation. Once speed, departure and arrival information have been entered, as described in the previous topic, the Activate Schedule option is activated. Click the button and confirm with Yes to proceed.
Information displayed. The chart display settings are located in the Chart menu and accessed under the Visibility options, which provides access to the Visibility Groups menu. Refer to Units 221 and 222 for further information. If the display category is set to Base or Standard, The checked information will be displayed, and the navigation line will show Standard Plus.
Docking. To activate the docking display, close all menus and select it from the Chart Pilot 1/Chart menu options. The display contains information in a graphic type covering rate of turn with a bar for port or starboard, scale range and a warning triangle when the scale is exceeded, course and track deviation with position and outside limit warnings, transverse speed at bow and stern, longitudinal speed, propeller, shaft speed and pitch if variable, rudder angle, depth, and wind information. Opening the menu. To access the calculator menu, switch to conning mode by pressing F2. Or click Tree and select Conning. The system switches to conning display with the menu open in the side strip. Click Tree, then Calculator to open the menu. Ending the calculation. To end the calculation that is being performed, click Exit at the bottom of the menu. The menu is closed and the calculation is aborted. Leaving the calculation running. If you wish to leave the calculation running in the background, click Tree and revert to the required function. The menu will be closed, but the calculation is not aborted. Subroutine appearance. When the subroutine tools are selected, the dialog box of the same name opens in the chart area. Reckoning display. In the Calculator menu, click Reckoning and the dialog box opens showing the ship's position, date and time. Select the Start databases. Ownship uses the current data of your ownship, which is updated continuously. Other requires you to enter data manually, which is not updated. Rendezvous display. In the Calculator menu, click Rendezvous and the dialog box opens. It shows separate panels for Ship A, your own ship, and Ship B, with fields for their respective parameters. Calculated. To calculate the rendezvous point based on the current parameters of both ships, click Calculate and enter the starting data of Ship B manually. Now click Restart to reset the own ship data to the current values and start the calculation. The rendezvous data will be displayed under Datum. Set. To calculate the parameters required to meet at an agreed position, check Set and enter the rendezvous datum. Now enter the starting data of Ship B manually and click Restart to reset the own ship data to the current values and start the calculation. The required sailing data will be displayed in the two central panels. Measured miles. In the Calculator menu, click Measured Mile and the dialog box opens. First, complete the Distance field using the measurement taken from the chart for the measured run. And then click Start when the starting position is reached. The current data of position, time, and speed are frozen, and the running data starts to update. When the finishing position is reached, click End. The running data is frozen, and the comparison of the three measurements is displayed under Results as Speed by log, the average of the values recorded at 1 second intervals, by time and position, and by time and distance. Note: there is no automated recording device for the results, so these need to be saved manually if you need to repeat the test, because clicking Start clears all the data. To back up certain data, please use the Print Screen function. Sunrise and sunset display. In the Calculator menu, click Sunrise and Sunset and the dialog box opens. The window contains panels for Ownership data, Event position, and the sunrise or sunset data as appropriate. Determining next sunrise or sunset. To calculate the next sunrise or sunset, first complete the eye level height above the water surface. Then click Set in the Ownership data panel, which freezes the ownership data and uses this as a constant for the calculation. Calculates the distance to go and displays this against DTG in the Ownership data panel. Calculates the position that will be reached and displays this in the Event position panel, and identifies the event as a sunrise or sunset in the bottom panel with the time and true bearing. Note: although frozen to perform the calculation, the Ownership data is updated at 60-second intervals, and the calculation is then repeated to maintain accuracy. Determining sunrise or sunset for any date or position. To calculate the time of a sunrise or sunset for any given position, first complete the eye level height above the water surface. Then click Set in the Event position panel and enter the position and, if relevant, the date. The time and bearing are calculated and displayed as sunrise or sunset as appropriate. To switch to the next or previous sunrise or sunset events, click Past Event or Next Event. Azimuth and altitude display. In the Calculator menu, click Altitude and Azimuth, and the dialog box opens showing 3 panels. 1. Own ship data. 2. A fixed star table. And 3. The results panel. Using Run. The Run command sets the ship's current position and time as the reference for the calculation. Now select the desired star from the fixed star table, and the altitude and azimuth of this star will be shown in the results panel. Using Fixed. The Fixed command allows you to enter a position and time manually. Now select the desired star from the Fixed Star table. The altitude and azimuth of this star will be shown in the Results panel.
Opening the current sailing menu. In the Calculator menu, click Current Sailing and the dialog box opens. Calculation 1. Check Problem 1 and enter the required information in the Own Ship Data panel as indicated by the bold fields. In this case, heading, speed through the water, set, and drift. Course made good and speed made good over ground will be automatically calculated and displayed in the results panel. Calculation 2. Check Problem 2 and enter the required information in the Own Ship Data panel as indicated by the bold fields. In this case, speed through the water, course made good, set, and drift. Heading and speed made good over ground will be automatically calculated and displayed in the results panel. Calculation 3. Check Problem 3 and enter the required information in the Own Ship Data panel as indicated by the bold fields. In this case, heading, speed through the water, course made good, and speed made good. Set and drift will be automatically calculated and displayed in the results panel.
Activating Trial Maneuver. To open the Trial Maneuver menu in Chart mode, click Radar AIS and select Trial Maneuver from the menu. This results in a number of setting changes. The course and speed vectors of the targets are displayed. The vectors are displayed as relative vectors, independent of the display mode. The display mode itself is not changed. The past plots of the targets are not displayed. The Trial Maneuver menu opens, and, in addition, the trial course line appears as a black line, which initially points in the direction of the set course starting from the Own Ship symbol, and the Own Ship symbol for the trial maneuver is displayed as a thinly drawn Own Ship symbol that is initially located under the Own Ship symbol and also points in the direction of the set course, and therefore cannot be distinguished from the latter. Trial Maneuver Config. The Trial Maneuver dialog box allows you to experiment with 3 parameters: trial course, trial speed, and trial delay. These values can be adjusted by shifting the slide bars to the left or right, but it is recommended that this is done using the keyboard arrow keys, because the display of the trial maneuver then changes continuously as the set values change. Trial Maneuver Prediction. Simultaneously, the trial course line in the chart area adjusts to reflect the course, speed, and delay alterations. It represents the track that the ship would sail along if the maneuver were actually performed, but only approximately, as the maneuvering characteristics of the ship are not taken into account, and the arc that the ship would sail in the maneuver is not displayed. The course and speed vectors of the targets are displayed at the predicted position of the targets for the moment when the maneuver is started, assuming their existing courses and speeds are maintained. They are displayed relative to the trial maneuver own ship symbol and relative to the trial course and trial speed. Consequently, if the vector of a target points towards the trial maneuver own ship symbol, actually executing that maneuver would put the own ship onto a collision course with this target. Trial Maneuver Warning Symbol. In order to draw attention to the fact that the trial maneuver display is switched on, a large flashing T is displayed at the bottom of the chart area to warn that the symbols and vectors of the targets are no longer being displayed in accordance with the actual situation. Deactivating Trial Maneuver. To exit the trial maneuver, click Cancel at the bottom of the menu.
Opening Chart Catalogue. To start chart maintenance and open the catalogue, click Tree or F10, and in chart mode, go to Utilities and select Chart Maintenance. The chart catalogue display opens and the side strip changes to the Utilities menu in the chart maintenance mode. You can exit the subroutine by clicking Exit in the side strip and confirming with OK. Chart Catalogue Display Layout. The chart catalogue display includes across the bottom a program status bar and underneath that 3 panels: Selection Mode, Displayed Cells and Display. Displayed Cells allows you to set a further filter on what is shown by using the Navigational Purpose drop-down menu to select the usage band, for example, Approach. It then displays the total number of cells of the selected type in the chosen source and the number of cells in the specified category and the scale range covered by them. We'll look at the functionality of the other 2 panels in instruction 8114. Chart Maintenance Menu. The Chart Maintenance menu provides all the commands for controlling what's displayed in the catalogue, for carrying out maintenance operations, which will be explained as we work through the unit, and, at bottom right, a readout of the geographical position of the cursor on the world chart. To control the display, Source lists all available sources of chart data, including inserted external media and other equipment. Select a source to display its data on the world chart. And Type allows you to set which type of electronic chart is displayed. Note, starting chart maintenance fills the source field with the details of all connected equipment. If you did not insert the external media beforehand, or had to insert a new disk, you'll need to click Make Table of Contents to update the source panel. Catalog Selection Mode and Display features. The Selection Mode and Display panels allow you to define a region in the world chart and enlarge a sector. Check Rectangle to activate a drawing tool, then click and hold down on a corner of a region or the sector to be enlarged and draw a rectangle to enclose it. To adjust the rectangle, move the cursor to a corner or line, wait for the cursor to change, and click and drag it to the required position. To enlarge the sector view, in the display panel click Zoom, repeating if necessary. Previous takes you back one screen. World, back to the world chart. Contour is a function that's used only when updating charts by region, and is a further drawing tool allowing unneeded cells to be excluded. Track is a function that allows updating along the path of a track. The associated range field defines the width of the strip on either side. Embedded cell or chart information. Every cell or chart displayed on the catalogue includes embedded information. Click on a cell or chart using the middle Info button to display its cell name. This feature facilitates chart selection when carrying out deletion procedures during chart maintenance.
Transfer and Update. The Chart Maintenance Utilities menu contains two functions for transferring cells that require some explanation at this point. Transfer is used for all chart types to perform the following tasks. Transfer the data of all files or of selected files from the CD-ROM to one, several, or all databases on the system. And copy all or selected files from the local database to one, several, or all other databases on the system. Note: any database files with the same name will be overwritten if they have an older date. Update is used for licensed ENC cells, ARCS charts, and CM93/3 Pro cells to perform the following tasks on one, several, or all databases on the system. Transfer new or additional files from the CD-ROM. Compare the update files with the database and update the database as required. And delete outdated files that are no longer supported. Confirmation may be requested. Synchronization. The synchronization of data on the databases of installed equipment takes place automatically at each update, provided that all the units are switched on. If for any reason a unit was not switched on during transfer, this can be corrected using transfer from the local database to the specific unit. This is a faster procedure than from source CD, as the cells have already been decrypted. Opening chart maintenance. To start chart maintenance and access the menu structure, click Tree or F10, and in chart mode, go to Utilities and select Chart Maintenance. The side strip changes to the Utilities menu in the chart maintenance mode, and the chart catalog display is opened. The remainder of this module, with the exception of Unit 8.5, is based on being in chart maintenance mode. Selecting chart type. In order to set up the menu structure for the required chart type, the Type button opens in a drop-down menu, where the type of electronic chart to be maintained must be selected. This causes other menu headings to change to match the selected chart type.
Selecting chart type. In order to set the menu structure up for ENC charts, in the Chart Maintenance menu, click Type. The drop-down menu for type selection opens, and select ENC, which causes other menu headings to change to match the selected chart type. Note, when starting chart maintenance, type defaults to ENC. This procedure will not be repeated in detail for the remaining instructions covering ENCs. Viewing User Permit Number, Ecdis Passport. With ENCs selected, the Licensing menu button is displayed as ENC Licensing. Open the ENC Licensing menu and then in the IHO ENC data panel either select View User Permit Number to open an information box with the number, which should be noted, or if the provider requires more than just the user permit number, generate Ecdis Passport, which will require you to first insert a DOS-formatted diskette or USB stick. The required data is copied over as an XML file, together with 2 supporting files. The information can then be transmitted to the chart provider. The chart pilot is capable of using IHO ENC, CMAP ENC, and unlicensed ENC cell files simultaneously. The method does vary slightly, as the chart pilot must apply various decryption methods when importing the ENC cells into its own database, dependent on the ENC provider. ENC cells supplied by Jeppesen Marine are referred to as CMAP ENCs, as opposed to normal ENCs from the IHO. For ENCs, first insert a DOS-formatted diskette or USB stick in the appropriate drive, and then run the same sequence of Utilities, Chart Maintenance, ENC, ENC Licensing, but then click Generate User Key File. The file user.usr is copied to the external device and can then be sent to the chart provider. Installing new ENC permits. Before the charts can be installed, the cell permits have to be installed. With ENC licensing opened, insert the diskette or USB stick with the permits into the appropriate drive and click Install Permits from Diskette Device. If you're prompted to insert the permits device, click OK, and the new permits will be added to the ENC databases of all the equipment on the system that's switched on. If the question, "Transferring permits to all other systems," appears, click OK. Note: the chart maintenance program automatically transfers and/or updates to new, all unexpired permits. Expired permits are not transferred or copied to the databases. If the permits were received by email, you'll need to create the DOS-formatted diskette or USB stick yourself. Chart coverage checking. Checking the coverage of the charts is done graphically. The world chart is already open, and the type field is already set to ENC. If you need to refine the search criteria, select the navigational purpose of the chart, and all appropriate charts will be displayed cross-hatched in white. Note: usage band is the official term for navigational purpose and defines the size or scale of a chart. The term usage band is also very important for chart maintenance and is one of the fields in the chart cell name just after the agent code. Complete chart installation. To transfer all licensed cells from a CD, continue with the following steps. 1. In the Cells to be Transferred panel, leave all navigational purposes switched on and click OK. 2. In the Selection for Transfer menu that opens, click Add All and OK. 3. In the ENC Cell Transfer dialog box, define how transfer errors should be handled. See instruction 8336. And click OK to start the transfer. The Transferring ENC Cells window opens to monitor progress, list errors, and confirm completion. Then, 4. Once the Update Complete message appears, click Cancel to close the window. Preparation. If you want to avoid full installation but rather select the charts which are to be installed, for example because specific cells are needed immediately, the selection process has to be conducted in a specific sequence. We'll look at this in 3 steps. The first step of the procedure is identical to the preparation for complete installation and will be demonstrated in the next instruction without further written or verbal instruction. Primary selection. The process continues with selection, which must be performed in the sequence region, navigational purpose, agency code, and cell number. This instruction looks at the first 2. 5. On the world chart, under Selection Mode, check Rectangle, and then click, hold, and draw the rectangle inside the chart area to define the region. See 8114. 6. Now click Transfer to open the menu where the selection process continues. A. In the Destination panel, select Chart Pilot, this one. B. In the Charts to be Transferred panel, all usage bands are, as default, checked and coloured orange. Click the boxes that are to be excluded and click OK. All corresponding cells inside the selected region are marked green, and the Selection for Transfer menu opens, showing all available charts in the left-hand panel and those selected in the right-hand panel. 7. Click OK. The ENC cell transfer dialog box opens so that you can define how transfer errors should be handled. See instruction 8336. Then click OK to start the transfer. 8. The Transferring ENC Cells window opens to monitor progress, list errors, and confirm completion. 9. Once the Update Complete message appears, click Cancel to close the window. Secondary selection. If further selection is required, it's done in two ways, both from the Selection for Transfer window. 1. In the top left corner, check Filter by Agency Codes to open a submenu where charts can be selected or deselected by agency code. Or 2. By moving files into or out of the Cell File Selected for Transfer field by using the appropriate Add or Remove buttons. Complete the process by clicking OK, which takes you into the final sequence of the preceding instruction. Chart Installation Error Control. Faults in ENC files will lead to errors during the conversion process such that they cannot be used to create an ENC database that is both complete and error-free, but a database that is either as complete as possible or that is free of errors. The program gives the operator the opportunity to decide which of the two objectives should be achieved when conversion errors are encountered. Halt on error will pause the process, allowing you to decide each time how to react. Transfer on error will transfer the cell, if possible, to achieve a complete database. Or skip on error will skip the cell to maintain an error-free database. Chart Installation Error Messages. The most common error or warning messages which appear in the lower list of the box that then opens are: Error. Cell file name failed to install cell to database. The base or update file was not transferred due to a conversion error. Warning. File name ENC update. A. Cell addition. B. Update number is already installed in SENC. The database cell is already at the status of the selected file. Error. File name update sequence can't update SENC. A. B. to addition update A. X, where A equals addition of the cell on which the cell located in the database is based, B equals the last update number incorporated into the database, and X equals update number of the file that led to this message. The selected update file cannot be transferred because not all previous update files have been incorporated into the database cell. Error. File name can't update, base cell is not installed. There is no cell on the database for the selected update file. Attention. File name cancel base cell. SENC cells should be deleted. Indicates that the update file contains the warning that the entire associated base file is no longer valid and should be deleted. The program halts and requests confirmation of the deletion in a separate dialog box. In the case of licensed cells, it's possible that other self-explanatory error or warning messages will be shown. SENC is the Chart Pilot Database, System ENC. Preparation. To transfer cells from a CD, in the case of IHO ENCs, starting with the base CD for a first-time installation, proceed with the following steps, responding to all messages with OK. 1. Select ENC under chart type. 2. Insert the CD into the drive. 3. Select CD-ROM in the source panel, which may trigger a request to insert a CD. 4. The system will then indicate Making Table of Contents. Wait till this is finished, and 5. Click Transfer, repeating it if a message has to be answered. 6. In the Destination panel, select 1. Chart Pilot, this one, to install on just the local database, or 2. All chart pilots and multi-pilots to install on the databases of all units, which must be switched on. The next instructions will look at the procedures for installing all cells or only selected cells. Preparation. Insert the latest CD in the drive, and then 7. Select CD-ROM in the source panel. 8. Click Update. If other units are connected, the same named menu will open. 9. In the Destination panel, select all chart pilots and multi-pilots. 10. Click OK. You'll be prompted to insert the CD even if you've already done so. Click OK again. The next two instructions show the remaining procedure and the alternative update method. Update by permit. To perform the update on all the cells for which you have valid permits, continue as follows. 5. If new licensed update files are available, for example a new chart in Portfolio, this process will recombine missing base cells by requesting the necessary base media for transferring files. Note, the update based on installed permits will generate a complete ENC chart database. 6. Now click OK. The Updating ENC Chart Database dialog box opens. Then, 7. Define how transfer errors should be handled. See instruction 8336 and click OK to start the transfer. The Transferring ENC Cells window opens to monitor progress and list errors. 8. Once the Update Complete message appears, click Cancel to close the window.
Opening Voyage Recording. To open the Voyage Recording program, click Tree or F10 to open the menu tree. In the chart tree, go to Utilities and click Voyage Recording. A subroutine starts and a configuration menu appears. This is a video controller type display with its own menu structure and play buttons. Voyage Recording menu. The Voyage Recording menu structure consists of three main headings. 1. File, which accesses the main operating functions. 2. Display, and 3. Options. The next instruction will look at the File menu in greater detail. The other menu items will be explained in the relevant topics. File operations. The File menu opens the way to working on files that are stored on the hard disk. Load Newest, Load, and Delete all take you to a selection switch for short-term recording or long-term recording. Load Newest. The content of the current recording is loaded to the main memory, overwriting anything that is already loaded. Load opens a list of files which have already been stored for selection. Delete is only available for stored files, not ongoing recordings. Backup is for saving files to an external storage device, and Restore is for recovering files from an external storage device. Recording activity. Recording activity takes place as long as the chart pilot is switched on. The short-term recording file remains intact even when the chart pilot is switched off, and always contains the data from the previous 12 hours of operation. Note: the data retention period can be increased to 24 hours at the service level. Storing recordings. Storing recordings is the method of creating a permanent record of the events that are logged in either of the two recording files to avoid loss of data through overwriting. See also Topic 915, Protocol Printing, which explains the hard copy saving procedure for short-term recordings. To save a recording, it must be loaded in Voyage Recording. In the File menu, click Store. A dialog box opens with the list of existing stored files, and below that, the selection field. Enter the file name or take over an existing file name by clicking it in the list, and then click OK. If you are using an existing file name, a warning message will be displayed, and you will have to confirm the action to overwrite the existing file. Note: the hard disk capacity for recordings is limited to a maximum of 5 files, depending on the file type. Any attempt to store a 6th file will result in a warning. The next instruction looks at backup to resolve this capacity limitation. Backing up recordings. Backup allows files to be saved to an external diskette or USB stick where fitted, to free up space on the hard disk. To transfer files in this way, insert a diskette or USB stick in the external drive and click Backup in the File menu. The Backup Control dialog box opens. Files on hard disk lists existing short-term and long-term recordings separately, and the Add Files buttons copy marked files into the Selected panel for saving to the backup device. Click OK and confirm with Yes to complete the backup. The backed up files still exist on the hard disk and should then be deleted. Resetting long-term recording. To reset the long-term recording file, open the Voyage Recording program, select Options, and click Reset Long-Term Recording. A confirmation window opens. Clicking Yes will delete all existing information from the file to provide a clean sheet. Careful consideration should be given to saving the existing data to a separate file. See Topic 9.1.2, Instruction 2, Storing Recordings. Saving the voyage record. Once the voyage has been completed, the record should be saved. See Topic 9.1.2, Instruction 2, and if that is normal operating procedure, print it out. The printing of records is covered in Topic 9.1.5. Playback Viewer. To play back a recording, first deselect the system track if it has been set. Now open the Voyage Recording program and load the required file. As explained in Topic 9.1.1, Instruction 3, two options are available. Load Newest, which accesses the currently running short-term or long-term recording, or Load, which accesses stored, completed records from the hard disk. Operate the replay by pressing the play, stop, or other buttons. The replay runs by recording instant and advances approximately every 10 seconds for short-term and every 30 seconds for long-term recordings. The interval length for recording and playing is the same. All other data will appear as chosen in service level, but not more often than the nav data. Fast forward and reverse therefore jump to the next instant, the data and time of which appear in the recorder controller next to the status indicator for running or paused. Print voyage. With the long-term voyage record loaded, go to File and click Print. The Print Voyage box will open. Two options are available. 1. Print Complete is the default, and the From and To fields display the first and last entries of the record. Click OK to print the complete file. Or 2. If you want to print only part of the record, select Print Part and enter the From and To dates before clicking OK to start the printing process. Note: the printing process will now run in the background, and the Voyage recording program can be used for other purposes or switched off. Protocol printing. To create a protocol printout, click either Menu, then Peripheral Devices, or Tree or F10, and in the Chart tree, select Peripheral Devices. The menu opens in the side strip. Now select Printer to open the same named menu, which provides commands and setting functions. Print Screen, an alternative to the Print Screen key on the keyboard. See Topic 9.1.6. Protocol Print, which, when checked, activates the printing. See Topic 9.1.5, Instruction 5. Protocol Type, the Print Content Settings panel, and the Printer Control panel, where Print Now/Form Feed causes the complete content of the file to be printed unedited. Print Erase/Stop aborts the command and deletes the unprinted data. And Remove Printer Files empties the program memory without cancelling the files already sent to the printer. Protocol Type. The Protocol Type panel allows you to define what data will be printed out. Checking the relevant field either activates fixed data or opens a dialog box to allow data to be selected. System settings will include the main system data, for example, a sensor change. System Messages will include all alarms and messages, and Cyclic Protocol allows you to determine which elements of the cyclically recorded short-term data will be printed out. Cyclic Protocol Settings. Checking Cyclic Protocol opens the Config Cyclic Protocol dialog box, where period sets the interval at which the printout is to be made in terms of time or distance, and determines which recording instants are printed. If you want to print all the recorded data, set the period to 10 seconds. Available Items lists all the data that is automatically recorded by short-term recording, and Configured Items lists what will be included in the printout. Use the Add and Remove buttons to move highlighted items into or out of this field. OK puts the changes into effect and exits. Reset reverts to the original settings without exiting, and Cancel closes the menu without any change. Activating Protocol Printing. Once all the settings have been made, check Protocol Print. The process will start. The reports are produced one page at a time as the data accumulates. The frequency of printing is determined by the level of detail included. Report, Screenshot, Peripheral Device Printer. Open the tree or click F10 and select Peripheral Devices and then Printer. Click Print Screen or right-click on the menu to open a context menu and click Print Screen. Display or print technical information. Open the tree or click F10 and select System Maintenance and then Configuration. Now click View, select All and confirm with OK. The selected data will be collected and displayed. Click Print and all the collected data will be printed.
Configuration files. To create a configuration backup, click Tree or F10, select Utilities in the chart tree, then System Maintenance, and open the configuration menu. Insert a diskette or USB device into the drive and click Backup. A safeguard question appears. Answering with yes will back up the configuration files to the diskette, deleting any existing information, floppy only. A confirmation window appears when the backup is complete. Tracks, waypoints and user objects 1. To back up other recorded data, click Tree or F10 and select Utilities in the chart tree. Now insert a diskette or USB device into the appropriate drive and open the Backup Restore menu, which opens in the side strip and contains the operating commands for this routine in a series of subframes. First, define what type of data has to be stored by checking Track or User Objects. Then, within the selected frame, check Track and Waypoint, or the types of user object to be backed up. The Chart Pilot software has been improved over the years, and the precise method and the menu button names vary according to the software version being used. This guidance therefore continues in two separate instructions for pre-July 2008 software and the current version. Tracks, waypoints and user objects 2. Pre-July 2008 software version 5.45. Having defined what's to be backed up, check From Hard Disk in the Transfer Direction frame to open the Transfer from Hard Disk menu. This opens in the main chart area and provides the file selection system consisting of two information frames and their corresponding command buttons. The left-hand frame lists the files on hard disk and contains two panels. The top panel lists all the catalogues, and the Add Catalogue button transfers the complete content of all marked catalogues to the selected list. The bottom panel lists the files in the currently marked catalogue, allowing only selected files to be copied across by clicking Add Files. And the right-hand panel lists the selected files for backup and includes Remove and Remove All buttons. Now select the removable storage device in the diskette format frame. DOS-formatted diskette allows the transfer of files stored in the Import-Export catalogue to a PC, and click the Transfer button to start the process. Confirm the safeguard question with Yes, which will cause any existing files on the diskette to be deleted. The Backup Restore Transfer dialog box opens to display the transfer progress. When the Backup Finished message appears, click OK to exit. If the process cannot be completed, click Abort in the Backup Restore Transfer dialog box to end it. Clicking Exit in the side strip will close the Backup Restore subroutine, returning to chart mode. Tracks, waypoints and user objects 3. Post-July 2008 software, version 6.1x. Having defined what's to be backed up, check Backup in the Backup Restore frame to set the function, and open the Data Selection menu. This opens in the main chart area and provides the file selection system, consisting of two information frames and their corresponding command buttons. The left-hand frame lists the files on hard disk and contains two panels. The top panel lists all the catalogues, and the Add Catalogue button transfers the complete content of all marked catalogues to the selected list. The bottom panel lists the files in the currently marked catalogue, allowing only selected files to be copied across by clicking Add Files. And the right-hand panel lists the selected files for backup and includes Remove and Remove All buttons. Now, in the side strip, click the Backup to Device button to start the process. The Select Device dialog box opens to allow selection of the storage medium. Click OK. The Backup dialog box now opens to allow selection of the destination directory or creation of a new one. Again, confirm with OK. The Backup Transfer window opens to show the transfer progress. When the File or Files Successfully Stored message appears, click OK to exit. The backup is written in the root directory of the media. A security question will appear if the file names already exist to prevent any unwanted overwriting. If the process cannot be completed, click Cancel in the Backup Transfer window to end it. Clicking Exit in the side strip will close the Backup Restore subroutine, returning to chart mode. Open Conning. To start, open Tree and select Conning. The 3 page menus are displayed separately and need to be selected. Notes: 1. If switching to Conning via F2, the navigation menu opens automatically. 2. If the menu is not displayed when the pages are opened, click Menu to display it. Navigation page. The navigation page provides data for sailing on the open sea and approaching coastal waters. It's divided into a central section, individual displays to the left, and the menu to the right. It can be configured manually to suit the user or situation. It contains 3 panels. 1. Display mode, which controls the central section and allows you to select Open Sea, Harbour, Maneuver if central azimuth thrusters are fitted, and Bow Down, which rotates the central section of the display through 180 degrees. 2. Display options, which controls the individual displays and provides 3 drop-down menus under the headings Display 1, Display 2, and Display 3, and 3. Recording options to determine what will be recorded if the recording display is switched on. The Exit button in the Conning menu will, after confirming the instruction, switch this routine off and switch to chart mode. Docking page. The docking page is intended to help you during docking or harbour operations. To open the docking page, you have to go via the tree or select Docking in the basic menu line. The menu provides the following checkboxes: Sensor data buttons to determine what's displayed, History to show the past track, Prediction to calculate and display the future ship position relative to the actual if the ship's movement has not changed, Speed to set the units of measurement to knots or meters per second, and Bow Up to change the orientation of the ship symbol. Exit closes the docking page and takes you back to the navigation page. Keel clearance page. The keel clearance page provides you with useful data for sailing in shallow waters. To open the keel clearance page, you have to go via the tree or select Keel Clearance in the basic menu line. The menu provides the following checkboxes: Depth scale to set the range that will be displayed graphically, Speed to set the units of measurement to knots or meters per second. Exit closes the keel clearance page and takes you back to the navigation page. Targets. To acquire a sleeping target, open the Radar AIS menu and click Targets. Activate ARPA targets, AIS targets, and sleeping targets to display sleeping targets too. AIS targets, if not acquired, are sleeping targets. CPA, TCPA. Open Alarm Settings. Set value for CPA and TCPA. Click Auto AIS Target. ACQ to activate and deactivate the automatic acquisition of AIS targets. Acquiring sleeping targets. Click Radar AIS, then Targets. Activate sleeping targets and click Acquire targets. Click on desired one in the chart. Moving the cursor out from the chart area will end the process. If auto acquisition of AIS targets is activated, all sleeping AIS targets are changed to Dangerous AIS target if they fall below the CPA or TCPA value or border. This will proceed until the maximum number of acquired dangerous targets is reached. Only 40 targets can be acquired at the same time. If a collision with another target is computed, a message "Dangerous AIS target acquisition is failed" appears. It is necessary to delete at least one non-critical target. As soon as this has been done, the Auto AIS target acquisition will have capacity to set new dangerous targets. Deleting targets. Click Radar AIS, then Targets. Click Cancel Targets and click on the desired one in the chart. Moving the cursor out from the chart area will end the process. Click Cancel All Targets to cancel all targets. A confirmation message appears. Cancelled targets are sleeping targets again. Sleeping target. A solid black triangle without vector is a sleeping target, which means it's not tracked yet. It points in the direction of the heading or the course over ground. Sleeping target with missing data. A broken black triangle without vector is a sleeping target also, but without collision calculation because of missing data. Acquired and tracked target. A solid black triangle with a vector is an acquired and tracked target. It points in the direction of the heading or course over ground and additionally shows the heading line. If the target is turning, the flag at the end of this line indicates the direction. Acquired and tracked target with missing data. A broken black triangle with a vector is also an acquired and tracked target, but collision estimation cannot take place because of missing data. Target marker. Call sign or a 2-digit code will be shown beside the AIS symbol called target marker. Dangerous target. The whole symbol is flashing and an alarm dangerous target appears. Lost AIS target. A flashing symbol and alarm lost AIS target appears. More target information. Middle-click on the acquired target and a context menu appears. Click the target. all AIS-based information will be shown in the list. Selecting Own Ship symbol will also show Own AIS data. Receiving safety message. New safety message appears in the alarm list. Click Radar AIS and click Read Message. Mark the latest message and read the content below. Sending safety message. Click Radar and open Send Message. Select Broadcast for broadcasting or Addressed for sending to an individual ship and specify by entering its MMSI number, or click Address to Target and select the target in the chart area. Select the appropriate message type, then enter your text and click Send. Interrogation. Click Radar AIS and open Interrogation. Select appropriate reply mode. Off will not transmit AIS data. Manual opens AIS Interrogation Alarm. Open the interrogation menu and click, if desired, Reply to send the information. Auto sends the information automatically.